Manchester United manager Ruben Amorim needs 3 years to prove he is a great coach, says co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Amorim will complete a year at the Old Trafford helm in November, but his record since arriving from Portuguese club Sporting has not been good. United finished 15th in the Premier League last season, their worst performance since the 1973-74 campaign in which they were relegated from the top flight. Despite a summer transfer outlay in excess of £200 million, they have already lost 3 times in the league this season and been knocked out of the EFL Cup by League Two Grimsby. Although sources close to Ratcliffe had stressed Amorim was not in any immediate danger, a fresh round of speculation before last weekend's 2-0 victory over Sunderland suggested Amorim was at risk of losing his job if United had failed to win. However, in an interview on the Times The Business podcast, Ratcliffe says that was not the case and feels, good guy, Amorim will need an extended amount of time to prove his worth. He has not had the best of seasons, said Ratcliffe. Ruben needs to demonstrate he is a great coach over 3 years. That's where I would be. There have been plenty of external observers saying 40-year-old Amorim will not succeed at United, criticizing him for refusing to change his 3-4-2-1 system. Ratcliffe says he is not interested in such talk and feels it comes from a position of ignorance. The press sometimes I don't understand, he said. They want overnight success. They think it's a light switch. You know, you flick a switch and it's all going to be roses tomorrow. You can't run a club like Manchester United on knee-jerk reactions to some journalist who goes off on one every week. Ratcliffe, who owns just under 30% of United, controls all the major football decisions, even though the Glazer family retain a majority stake in the club. The Ineos owner acknowledges the Glazers, who took control of United courtesy of a leveraged buyout in 2005, get a bad rap. He insists they are passionate about the club and, when asked if they might order him to sack Amorim, said, that's not going to happen. United will become most profitable club in the world. Last month, United announced they had cut losses from £113.2 million to £33 million for the year to June 2025. This followed 2 rounds of redundancies, during which more than 400 people lost their jobs, including many long-term staff members. Scouting is among the areas where numbers have been slashed. Ratcliffe has been criticized for the job losses and also scrapping long-standing perks such as free lunches for staff. The costs were just too high, he said. There are some fantastic people at Manchester United, but there was also a level of mediocrity, and it had become bloated. I got a lot of flack for the free lunches, but no one's ever given me a free lunch. There are 2 halves to a football team. There is the business side and the sports side. The biggest correlation, like it or not, between results and any external factor, is profitability. The more cash you have got, the better squad you can build. If you look at our results for last year, we have the highest revenues ever. Profitability, the second highest ever. Those numbers will get better. Manchester United will become the most profitable football club in the world, in my view, and from that will stem, I hope, a long-term, sustainable, high level of football. Sir Jim Ratcliffe had his say on Ruben Amorim's uncertain Manchester United future in a bombshell interview. It's been a disappointing start in Amorim's first full season in charge at Old Trafford, with the club sitting 10th in the Premier League table. The 40-year-old has just 10 league wins to his name at United since his arrival in November 2024 and has been under immense pressure for almost the entirety of his stint with the club. United were only set to play in 3 competitions this season after losing out on European football following their Europa League final defeat earlier this year. Skip to main content: Daily Mirror News, celebs, football, lifestyle, more in your area, funeral notices, shop competitions, dating offers, newsletters. Sign up, follow us on social. Does your local shop help your community? ADFEATURE. Does your local shop help your community? Mirror.company UK. Brahima Khan 8 agreement reached as Liverpool sent clear Real Madrid. Warning: Ibrahima Khan 8 agreement reached as Liverpool sent clear Real Madrid. Warning: Arsenal's new 70,000-seater Emirates Stadium imagined by AI as club studies Real Madrid. Arsenal's new 70,000-seater Emirates Stadium imagined by AI as club studies Real Madrid. Best Prime Day tooth whitening deal is 70% off. and isn't actually on Amazon. Best Prime Day tooth whitening deal is 70% off and isn't actually on Amazon. Mirror. Company Amorim UTD hold talks with players over Ruben Amorim's future with clear decision reached. Man UTD hold talks with players over Ruben Amorim's future with clear decision reached. Sport Football. Manchester United FC. Man UTD News. Jim Ratcliffe interviewed on Ruben Amorim future as big money deal on table. Ruben Amorim may have returned Manchester United to winning ways this past weekend, but the pressure is very much still on the Portuguese boss. Comments 0 Sport Fasika Zalilam Senior Sports Reporter 05:00 October 9, 2025 Bilbao, Spain May 21. Sir Jim Ratcliffe looks on during the UEFA Europa League Final 2025 between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United at Estadio San Mamés on May 21, 2025 in Bilbao, Spain. Photo by James Gildenhouse/Getty Images. View 3 images. Sir Jim Ratcliffe offered his thoughts on Ruben Amorim's future following a disappointing start to the season for Manchester United. Image, James Gildenhouse, Getty Images. Sir Jim Ratcliffe had his say on Ruben Amorim's uncertain Manchester United future in a bombshell interview. It's been a disappointing start in Amorim's first full season in charge at Old Trafford, with the club sitting 10th in the Premier League table. Article continues below. The 40-year-old has just 10 league wins to his name at United since his arrival in November 2024 and has been under immense pressure for almost the entirety of his stint with the club. United were only set to play in 3 competitions this season after losing out on European football following their Europa League final defeat earlier this year. That number went down to 2 after their humiliating exit in the Carabao Cup at the hands of League Two side Grimsby Town in August. Despite the disappointments, Amorim has so far retained the faith of the Ratcliffe and the United hierarchy, who splashed out over £200 million this summer on new players. However, the Ineos chief has handed Amorim somewhat of a timeline when it comes to returning United to their prior status as a football superpower. In his plan to do so, the ex-Sporting Lisbon boss could attempt to add another player to his attacking arsenal in what would be a significant move in the transfer market. It's not a common occurrence for club owners to give interviews about managers under pressure, but that didn't stop Sir Jim Ratcliffe from doing exactly that. The Manchester United co-owner discussed Amorim, amongst other things, during his appearance on the Business podcast hosted by Dominic O'Connell and Hannah Prevet.